What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. I am Zay Collier, joined by the great Double R, Rodney Rodriguez of Chaos Theory and the Texas Longhorns. Get the golden hat back in the Red River Shootout. We call it the shootout over here, damn it, because it's a shootout. Blowout win, 34-3, when Texas didn't even play their best game. Oh, is it sweet. Appreciate everybody for rocking with us after the game. Some of y'all might be trying to listen on the app / listen to us on Twitter, X, YouTube, Facebook, whatever. While you're at the state fair, you might not have the best reception. Get somewhere where you can so you can rock with us, because we're going to seriously gloat today. Enjoy yourself a corny dog or the cotton candy bacon or some fried Oreos, whatever you want. Enjoy it. If you're at the home watching the game, make you some fried Oreos or some type of state fair item and enjoy it, because the Horns put the beat down on the Oklahoma Sooners, and it was sweet. I could care less about the wide receiver group that Oklahoma has. We're playing our small violins for them. We don't give a damn. They came in there. They knew what they had. They were still talking mess. Billy Bowman, Danny Stutzman wearing the horns down chain, which was probably fake, by the way, but whatever. We ain't going to put it past them. They got their ass whooped. That's how it should be. And the Horns didn't even play their best game. That's what makes it scary. Very sloppy, probably a B game if you ask Steve Sarkisian, but you still win by 31 points. You don't allow a touchdown, led by Ant Hill and this ferocious defense. It was a hell of a game, Rodney, and one that Texas fans will remember for a very long time.
Zay, I got to tell you, man, everything that you just said right there. And by the way, I'm having me a cold beer right now.
Yeah, man, drink up. Enjoy that. You deserve that. Absolutely. If I was a drinker, I'd be sipping on a little something too.
It's one of those things to where, like you said, they didn't play their best game. Not even close. Not even close. And I think a lot of the discussion is going to be after this game is that, Texas, not very impressive. 34-3, my friends. 34-3. That's an ass whooping. 34 unanswered, I want to tell you. 34 unanswered is what you had right there from Texas. And this just goes to show you, because this year, the way this game started out, college football, so unpredictable. Look at Alabama today. I mean, I thought Alabama was right. I mean, it's such a different environment right now. But the one thing, I mean, I know that Oregon and Ohio State play tonight, but the one thing that has been consistent this year is that our team, your team, friends, the Texas Longhorns have been impressive all year. Even Zay, when they're not impressive, they're impressive. And that's really something to hang your golden hat on right now, if I can use that pun.
Yeah, I love it. It was a very fun game, man. There's a lot to break down. We've been talking about it all week. Well, hell, we've been talking about it for the last 2 weeks with the Horns having the bye after Mississippi State. Quinn Ewers, how will he get off in this game, especially with him missing all of those games? How will he feel about the oblique? He looked a little bit rusty. Quinn Ewers is human. I know he's done a really good job in the past coming back when he's missed a little time, but at the end of the day, he's playing against a really good defense in a game that they care about. This defense has a lot of pride, Danny Stutzman and Brent Venables and, Billy Bowman and stuff, and they couldn't hold down. The Horns just kept wearing them down, and once Quinn Ewers started to get his feet under him and start, completing some of those passes, then the offense took off a little bit. But, yeah, you would think that this game, it could have been 55-3. You know what I'm saying? He could have put up 60. It seemed like there were just so many self-inflicting wounds, and, you're a little nervous about what happened to Isaiah Bond. A little nervous what happened to Derek Williams, who caused a fumble. That was big time late in the first half. So, overall, it wasn't the best game, but when you could come into this game, both teams ranked, and win like you did, it don't matter. It don't matter. The ugly wins don't matter in this one. Texas fans have seen too much negativity in this game to care about how it looked. As long as you get that golden hat back and you take that dub, then that's the most important thing. So salute to Steve Sarkisian and salute to Pete Kwiatkowski. I thought Pete Kwiatkowski dialed up a terrific game plan. Say what you want about Michael Hawkins Jr. I mean, the kid's got moxie, but with the lack of receivers that they have, Pete Kwiatkowski said, we don't care. We're going to treat y'all with the same respect because it's one of those games and we're going to be all over y'all. It seemed like everything that he called at the right time, especially in that first quarter when they were in Texas territory, majority of that game. Mookie Taft, he gets a big-time sack. You only give up 3. Pete Kwiatkowski was dealing. He was dealing, and multiple guys made big-time plays in this game, and that's what you have to do. You got to be able to make plays to force momentum swings. From Derek Williams' fumble, Ant Hill was a madman today. Like, I think we'll be mentioning his name multiple times on this show because that dude, he went crazy. I mean, he's here. He's here. He's one of those guys, he's been making big-time plays since his freshman year, going back to the Alabama game, and he had that big-time almost pick 6 2 games ago against ULM, and now it's hard to take him off the field. Even though Pete Kwiatkowski and Johnny Nansen do a good job of putting Leogola Fowl and David Benda in there, and they got a really good rotation with the plays that Ant Hill's making: 11 tackles, 4 quarterback pressures, 2 sacks, 6 big-time defensive stops, a 4th fumble. The dude was all over the place. So, hey, I think he's the best player on this defense, and that says a lot because they got a lot of big-time guys. And, yeah, they deserve to celebrate this, only for a little bit, though, because you got a big-time game. College game day will be at DKR next week when the Georgia Bulldogs come into town. It looks like they're taking care of Mississippi State. So that obviously is going to be a fun one. But to win the way they did in this game, leaving points on the board, still very impressive, Rodney.
And Zay, I think a lot of this is, really to me, that with the defense, what the defense did today, because there's no doubt about it. Quinn Ewers came stumbling out of the block. In that first quarter, there were guys that were open. Some of the reads, it looked like that he was not making that. He was definitely, I don't know if you want to call it rust. I don't know if you want to call it, if this hadn't been the Red River Shootout, if this had been, playing somebody else in a home game, whatever the case may be. I don't know if he would have come out different, but Quinn did not look right to me. Honestly, even at the end, he didn't look right. There were a couple of things there where I think he still needs to, continue to work and hopefully be better for the Georgia game. But this is where you go back to the defense, to where the defense just solidified themselves. And Oklahoma, yeah, they came in battered and they came out beaten or whatever, but this defense just took it to them. Colin Simmons, you mentioned Anthony Hill. These guys just came out, hit them right in the mouth, and we're not going to give them anything at all. And I think that's really the impressive part to me, is that so much of the conversation that is had right now about Texas is about Quinn Ewers. It's about the guys on the outside and all of that. But when you really look at what, in my opinion, what really won this game was the stalwarts on the defense, because they stepped up when the offense was off. And that's where we've seen it so many different times, to where one side of the ball is not right, and then the other side of the ball isn't right either. But right now, this is a cohesive unit where this whole organization is working together, and they just dominated these guys. They did not give them an inch. They gave them nothing, Zay. And that's where we're, like we said, 34 unanswered points, man. That's pretty damn impressive. And even the bigger part about when it's a rivalry game, I know all of that. But now this is an SEC conference win. SEC conference win. And I can't stress that more than right now, because you look at everything that's going on right now. We talked about Alabama. You talked about Georgia. They're coming in. But this league is a juggernaut, my man. And to take care of this one, it just keeps everything. It just keeps that train on the right track, my man, as to that big goal that they have in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, everybody rocking with us. We appreciate y'all, whether you're at the state fair or at the crib or just out and about from the app or, YouTube, X, Facebook. We appreciate everybody. Hit us up on the YouTube comments line sponsored by Clean Cause. And yeah, shout out to all of our sponsors here: Verde's Mexican, Parrilla, Kenfield Golf Carts, Top Gun Rentals and Lawn Equipment, Hat Creek Burger, Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill, and Paul's Motor Works. And yeah, OU, they came in here with some crazy confidence that.
Yeah.
Look, I feel them. You got to have it. You can't just, come in and lay an egg early on, but you could tell by coin toss. John A. Barron, Billy Bowman, they were chirping at each other, and they had it. You couldn't hear the coin toss. That Chris Fowler said something about mic difficulty or something. I wish you would have heard these guys because you could see them chirping. You could see John A. saying, y'all think this is going to be like last year? Hell no. This defense, we ain't going to let y'all have nothing. And we know y'all are weak too. Oh, yeah. Brennan Thompson's your main guy on the outside. We've seen him live. We know he ain't nothing. We know we sent him to y'all because he couldn't cut it in this wide receiver room. So it's about to get real up here because, hey, we owe y'all something. They showed Danny Stutzman. The only Oklahoma fears God, Texas
T-shirt
Oklahoma. Man. They showed that again. Brent Venables, he was a part of that too. He was in those pictures supporting his linebacker. So he's a part of this too, which I know some Longhorn fans who are greedy. Ain't nothing wrong with being greedy because Steve Sarkisian could have ran the score up. They got a little conservative in that second half. And look, Oklahoma's defense, they're stingy. They're absolutely stingy, and I do think, like you said, Rodney, Quinn Ewers, just that rust. Even though he went 20 for 39, he had that really bad interception early where he went back to the old Quinn Ewers, not setting his feet, what I'm saying? Like his arm's just so pretty and it's so unique. So some of those throws he makes, I feel like he gets a little out of character and, throwing those off-balance just passes. And when you're rusty like he was, you got to really get back to the basics. You got to really get back to the fundamentals. And he started to, shout out to Steve Sarkisian, putting them in those situations. But you start the game with an interception. You come back on your next drive, second drive in the game. You punt in 5 plays. You come back in your next drive. You get 3 and out. And I'm pretty sure Texas fans, just like me, and saying, uh-oh.
Here we go.
Here we go. What's going on? I know some ignorant folks out there were like, put in 16. Put in old Arch Boy. It's time to put him in. And Steve Sarkisian finally like, y'all have lost y'all's mind. Ain't no way we were going to see Arch Manning in today. Whether it went completely south or it went how it was, Steve Sarkisian that's made it very obvious.
That's his dude.
That's his dude. If you go back to the freshman year, I bring this up all the time, the Oklahoma State game where he probably should have pulled him 19 for 49 in Stillwater, didn't pull him then. So why would he pull him now? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be in a Brent Venables situation where you could lose your team. I thought Brent Venables maybe should have put Jackson Arnold in today. But that's too much flip-flopping. That's too much. You know what I'm saying? Because you shouldn't have taken out Jackson Arnold in the first place. Everybody wants to blame Jackson Arnold for all those turnovers against Tennessee.
I got a lot more problems.
Today, Oklahoma has way more problems than the quarterback.
Yeah.
So making that move, if you would have stuck with Jackson Arnold, because sometimes you got to learn. You got to learn through all the trials and tribulations. Peyton Manning threw 27 interceptions his rookie year. He learned a lot from that season. Went on to be a top 5 quarterback of all time. I'm not saying Jackson Arnold would have done that, but you let him take that ass whooping against Tennessee. You realize you got a ton of football left. You go into Auburn, do whatever the hell happens, and now you come into Texas with a quarterback that has way more experience and probably gives you a better option throwing. But now you can't go back.
No.
You can't go back. if you're Brickville, you can't go back. So he stuck his foot in his mouth. And I feel like we talked about that, Rodney. Definitely talked about on the show with my guy Chip Brown. Like we talked about, I don't know if this was the right move, Britt Venables. This might cost you down the line because Michael Hawkins Jr., bless his heart, but he couldn't do nothing for you today. And a lot of that was because this defense real stingy. Like Jalen Gilbo made a big-time hit early. We mentioned Mookie Taft. David Benda, that roughing the passer, you can't call that weak shit in this game.
Yeah.
SEC officials, y'all ain't been a part of this before. I knew something like that was going to happen because Michael Hawkins, him jumping in the air made that worse than what it was. He didn't have to jump in the air, but once he's jumping in the air, of course he's going to get knocked the hell out. David Benda, that was the right hit. He didn't take him down. He didn't drive him. It was just a lot of contact, and it was physical. But I don't knock David Benda for that at all. Take the penalty. Take the penalty because you're sending a message. You're sending a message like, yo, bro, it's going to be a long day for you if you want to sprint and stuff. You want to do all that John Elway helicopter in and trying to dive in the end zone like you Lamar Jackson and shit. Okay. All right. Go ahead because we're ready to blow your ass up.
That's it.
Ant Hill, Leonga LaFau. Leonga LaFau had a big-time hit today. Again, Derek Williams, man, he's missed a couple of games. I hate to see him get hurt again because that was a big-time hit. Right after Anthony Hill's fumble, Travian Wisner goes on to score that big-time touchdown right after that to make it 21-3. And then here comes Derek Williams with another hit, which you lead to no points because Bert Auburn, scholarship Bert Auburn, which is a problem. It's a problem. I know he made 2 more field goals later on, but I do not like where Bert Auburn is right now, Rodney.
I don't either, Zay.
Talk about it because Chip always gives me crap because Bert Auburn, he's made some big time kicks wearing the burnt orange, but ever since he's gotten that scholarship, he ain't been the same kicker. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you get that big time contract and you're a professional. You kind of ease up a little bit. You ain't that same hungry guy looking for the contract. You know what I'm saying? Bert Auburn, as a walk-on kicker, money. As a scholarship kicker, shaky. A little shaky.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Silas Bolden on hustling his ass off. When Trey Wisner fumbled that thing in the end zone, that was incredible. Like Silas Bolden and that punt return he had, like Silas Bolden, I think with Isaiah Bond going out, he was relishing in the opportunity and the fact that he hustled on that play because when they showed it, Chris Fowler and Kurt Herbstreit, they were like, yo, why would he do that? Why would he run that hard? Why would he run that hard to go get that ball? Like, that's a veteran move. That's a winning move. That's a guy who's been playing football a long time because you never know. You see some weird things happen. And Danny Stutzman, who was trotting his ass off, he got outworked. He got beat to the ball. And Silas Bolden came up with that thing to make it 14-3. And that's when the game really turned. Right after that play, if you're Oklahoma and that's a touchback, you still have a little bit of momentum, and who knows what happens. But Silas Bolden jumping on that thing, making it 14-3. It was ball game right there, even though the Horns were kind of up and down, when it came to their offense. But, yeah, you could tell that just ripped the heart out.
It did. I mean, it really did. And here's the sound of that play. This is the Bolden play that Zay is talking about. If you didn't see this is what it sounded like as that was happening.
Makes a cut. Wisner loses the football, bounces into the end zone to scramble for it, trying to make the recovery is Silas Bolden, and he does for a Texas touchdown.
There it is. I mean, that's a huge play right there. And I got to tell you another one, and we'll get to plays of the game and so forth. But I really think that because it was, the momentum, and I don't think that Texas actually lost or didn't have the momentum at whatever point in this game, Zay. I think Texas controlled momentum the entire time just because they were that much better than Oklahoma today. And that's just the bottom line. There's no other way around it. And here's the tweet that CB was talking about. That's the Mayfield jersey there from Anthony Hill after the game. Texas fears nobody. And there's the jersey. Yeah, right there. So it's kind of one of those things where you start burying a bunch of different things, and I think that's what the program is doing. But I got to tell you the one play when Mookie Taff had the sack early in the game, when it really seemed like Texas was when the offense just couldn't get their shit together. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And it really was, in my opinion, that Quinn was. I talked about this during the week with Quinn being rusty. And I had a lot of people on my ass because it's like, when you're that good, I mean, when you're that could be the number one quarterback in the NFL draft coming up, when you were the Heisman favorite and all this other shit, when you were that good, there's no way that you're going to be rusty. But Zay, I think you feel the same way. A bye week to me is it can be really, really good, and at the same time it can be really, really bad. And that's why I was so the proponent to where I wanted him to get in the game just a little bit in that Mississippi State game, just to get back in the rhythm of everything, even though that there was going to be some time off, because he came in and he was missing targets and all that. I mean, it was just bad quarterback play. His feet were planted. He just wasn't moving like we're used to QB3 moving. But when Mookie Taft comes in and has that sack, I think that was really the thing that kind of woke up and energized the defense and said, look, it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball right now while the offense gets their shit together, because they just don't have it. They just don't have it. It's going to be up to us to shut that down. And that's what the defense did. And again, there's Mookie Taft. I mean, there he is again, where we talk about this guy, dude's always in the right place at the right time or whatever. Well, you know what? He was in that OU backfield at the right time. And I think he energized that game and really swung the pendulum to where that woke up the Texas offense a little bit. That first quarter was pathetic, but damn, 21 points in the second. It was Katie bar the door after that.
Yeah, it seemed like 21 points in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that
37 seconds. Like, it changed so quick. And that's just how college football rolls sometimes. You just have no clue. And that fourth possession to start the second quarter, where Quinn Ewers, he finds DeAndre Moore, who gets the nasty toe tap. Like, that was a sick toe tap, which couldn't really tell if he was out of bounds, but when they called it a catch, and it would have came back a defensive holding, so it was a first down no matter what. But that right there, that gets Quinn Ewers, that gets his blood flowing a little bit. Then you got Gunnar Helm. He gets 21 yards on the catch where he almost hurdles another dude, kind of like what we saw a couple of weeks ago. And I thought that was a terrific play to get Quinn Ewers the first touchdown. Like, you roll everyone to the right, and then you have a nice little throwback screen, one thing that Sark is really popular for, to Gunnar Helm for the touchdown. 10 plays, 75-yard drive. That calmed Quinn down. I think that made Quinn realize, okay, we're straight up better than this team. I got to get back to the basics. This defense is very good. Still, they're one of the best defenses in the nation when it comes to takeaways. Billy Bowman getting that first interception. So, yeah, like, once Quinn got settled down and you realized that this offense for Oklahoma wasn't going to move the ball any, like Vernon Broughton, he was all over the place, even though he didn't get to the quarterback at times. Barrett Sorrell was terrific and had some big-time hits and had a big-time sack. I thought Trey Moore was good. Trey Moore was always around Michael Hawkins. He just threw the ball out of bounds or got out of bounds on some stupid kind of play. So, again, it wasn't their best game, but they're winning by 30 in the Red River Shootout.
Yeah.
Like, that's just – and look, the SEC, you're right. It's just such a gauntlet. Any win is big at this point. With what we've seen, you see Arkansas beat Tennessee. You see Alabama lose last week in Nashville to Vanderbilt. They almost get a scare today and lose to South Carolina on some back-to-back stuff before they go to Knoxville and play Tennessee. College game day is going to be here next week. Like, you don't have much time to really relish the Red River Shootout like you've done in years past, a lot of the time, because this game was followed by a bye. But now, phase 2, as Steve Sarkisian calls it, this is your season, in my opinion, because Vanderbilt's better than what they're supposed to be.
Dude, I agree.
Yeah, Georgia, they're seeing all these teams go down. I think it's going to be another, I wouldn't say another, but I think it's going to be a college football playoff knockout tonight with Ole Miss going to Death Valley. Whoever loses that game is most likely out of college football playoff contention. So you don't want to cough up any losses, especially when you're favored, even though it's a rival game. And, good teams win, great teams cover. The Longhorns covered today. We're in the line, jumped all the way up to 17 on some sports books. So I really appreciate that. I am concerned about Isaiah Bond being out. Not as concerned just because Silas Bolden, I believe in him. I definitely believe in Ryan Wingo. Like, are you serious?
Oh. That 43-yard catch, man, in the second quarter.
That catch was crazy. Just a quick slant, and he takes it almost to the house, and then he gets a reversed in the second half and almost takes that to the house. It's like, can we give 5 some more touches somehow?
Yeah.
Like, he is a playmaker. His size, he brings something different to that wide receiver group. And he has the speed just like Golden Bond and more, but he's bigger. And I didn't know how he would be coming into this game because if you remember a couple of weeks ago, he took a shot in his knee in the Mississippi State game and he had to wear a brace on it for the rest of the game. He stayed in, but he was a little gimpy. So you just never know with knee injuries. That dude looked 100% today. And I think he sees all of these freshmen going crazy. Smith and Ohio State making all those one-handed catches, doing stupid stuff. The Ryan Williams, the fandom with him, 17 years old, going crazy for Alabama. Sark talked about, Ryan Wingo, we got a guy that can be doing all of those things. It's just our wide receiver room is a little bit thicker. I thought he had some really big plays in this game, just like he did in Ann Arbor. If Isaiah Bond isn't able to play against Georgia next week, you still feel good about the wide receiver group.
Sure. Yeah. And that Wingo catch, I mean, that was still where when I watched that entire play and I went back and kind of rewound everything as it was going. I mean, Quinn was flat footed. I mean, the throw was there, but it wasn't a typical Quinn Ewers play. It was very much that Wingo, got the ball and made a play out of it. So that was a huge play. That was a huge play in that game where these guys, you never know where it's going to come from with this group because the depth is just so immense with this team right now. And here's the other thing that I want to talk about, Zay, is that, after the Mississippi State game, it was like, well, Texas, was that their dud? Was that their whatever? But going back to what we've kind of been throwing around right here, when it comes to the SEC, how really this league is good. The bad teams are really, really good. Georgia won by 10 over Mississippi State today at home. And that's what I'm telling you right here, to where now, during the week, we had the conversation on our show to where it's like, this was going to be the gauntlet right here. Coming out of the bye week, you had the 2 games back to back. But now when I look at the schedule and you've got Arkansas and you got Vanderbilt, you got Kentucky, you got Texas A&M. I mean, Florida is kind of the only one that you can kind of sneeze at, but you don't know what they're going to bring you. So it is, it's a thing where you are truly in the major league right now. You are in the best league in college football. Oh my God, look how beautiful that is.
Isn't that pretty?
Look how beautiful that is.
So pretty.
Yeah.
It's so pretty. What Dwayne Martin saying, white man can't jump, man. It's so easy. Man,
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what side you're on. I mean, look at that right there. I mean, is there a mirror? And I really do think that now it's like people are really starting to grasp how big this rivalry is. It's always been big to us. But now it's like, holy shit, this is being in that SEC thing, man. It's just ramped everything up, hadn't it? It seems like to me. And I'm really glad that Texas right now is at a point that they are. And this whole thing with the league being so good, NIL has changed everything, and the transfer portal to where you're playing in the best league right now, and you are the freaking best team in the nation. Hands down, you are the best team in the nation.
Well said. Yeah, and before we get to the offensive player of the game and just run through that, got to give a shout out to Quintravian Wisener. Oh. He was terrific today. I thought he should have been the first running back going out there. Jaden Blue was, but Travion Wisner, 13 carries, 118 yards, should have had 2 touchdowns, only had 1. I know he's kicking himself in the butt for that one. Definitely got to protect the ball, and Tashard Choice is definitely going to let him know that with Georgia coming up. But, man, the Dallas kid coming back home, performing the way he did. Shout out to Travion Wisner, man. Like, he put on. He did his thing, because after that big-time slant catch that we're talking about with Ryan Wingo, Travion Wisner, he almost took that thing to the house, but ended up fumbling, and that's when Silas Bolden probably made the play of the game. We'll see when we get to that, but, yeah, heck of a win. It was a lot of fun. Like, it was still kind of stressful at times, especially that first quarter, but at the end of the day, again, when you don't play your best game and you beat Oklahoma like that, like Oklahoma, going to make the excuses. That's fair. I get it. You're down bad. It's hard to admit that you just got your ass whooped. You're going to talk about the wide receivers. Like, that's a real thing, but also recruit better. Like, you gotta have guys. You gotta be ready. Like, who's y'all strength and conditioning coach? You know, like, do y'all have somebody like Torrey Beckman to get your guys right so those injuries could be prevented? I don't know, but we all got injuries. Ask C.J. Baxter, ask Christian Clark. Yo, man, when Jake Majors got rolled up on, oh my Lord, my heart stopped. My heart stopped. That was nerve-wracking. The whole crowd went, oh shit. Oh, my God. And Jake Majors bounced up like, yo, he was pissed because he knew, and you could hear him yell. That's what the scariest part was. You heard him yell, and he bounced up real quick, and he gave somebody a hard hop fight, like, oh, damn it. Like, oh, like, you know, when you, like, stub your toe, like, on the edge of the bed or something like
middle
that.
of the night.
Yeah, middle of the night, and you don't want to wake everybody up, but you're just like, oh, damn it, shit. You're just saying every 4-letter word in the book. That was Jake Majors, but he was good after that. He was smiling on the sideline. You saw him putting on the golden hat, because that's one dude you do not want to go out, and especially with what happened last year in the 2023 season when he went out so early with that high ankle sprain. Kyler Robinson came in, and it seemed like that changed the whole game.
That cost Texas a game, in my opinion.
I think so, too. I think so, too. You know what I'm saying? So, again, that's another reason why no love lost for OU being out these wide receivers. Could care less, because injuries happen in this game. How you overcome them, that's the main thing. So, yeah, big time win. Texas Longhorns 34-3 against the Oklahoma Sooners in the Red River Shootout. Got Georgia next week at 7:30 Central. Rodney, let's get to the offensive MVP.
Let's dive in there, man. Presented by Verde's Mexican Parrilla. I'll tell you a little bit about them later on here after we talk about this. But, I mean, it'd be really easy to go to Wisner because, I mean, he did. I mean, the dude was magnificent. I got to tell you one thing about Jaden Blue. There were a couple of different times where I saw him, and I knew that Tashard Choice and Steve Sarkisian, I knew they were going to roll that dude out simply because that they were going to reaffirm to him that he's a great football player. That just seems to be the culture that we have right now around here. And there were a couple of different times where I saw him get hit, and I saw him do the old, fullback double clutch of the football right there to hold that thing in there. And that just goes to show right there where they've gotten in this dude's head and they've told him, you got to protect the football. But I mean, you can go a lot of different places with this, but I'm going to go to the same dude for the offensive MVP that I had for Michigan, to where, man, when you've got a tight end that can come in and make the plays and be that outlet and kind of be that unforgotten dude that's going to kind of sneak in here and do all these different things, at the same time make blocks and do all, let me tell you, man, Gunnar Helm is one bad son of a gun. And it really seems like each and every time that you're in a big game, that you're in a huge game. I mean, you had the Michigan game, and here we are again with this one where Gunnar Helm just makes tremendous plays. Zay, Gunnar Helm, man, I'm going to find him right here. 5 receptions, 91 yards, always at the biggest time, and the touchdown. Again, that tutty right there from Gunnar Helm, I think, was something that really kind of woke the offense up. And I think what Gunnar Helm has become to Quinn Ewers is kind of that calming effect. You know, when I was a kid and I was feeling bad, my aunt would tell me, hey, put some Vicks on your nose and put some Vicks on your chest. It's going to calm you down and make you feel better. I kind of think that Gunnar Helm is that mentolato that we call it for Quinn Ewers. Kind of calm him down and get him right back into his game. That's what he did again today, man. I'm going with Gunnar Helm for offensive MVP. That dude is a stalwart on this offense.
Yo, I can't knock it. Can't knock it one bit. I mean, his catch where he completely Moss's boy, like that was vicious, which Matthew Golden, the first try on that wide receiver throw, very suspect. That was one of the worst throws. That was one of those, Sark, why do you have this fool throw it? Shout out to Sark for letting him redeem himself. It wasn't the best throw, but Gunnar Helm, be it 6'5", having the athleticism that he does, he was able to moss Robert Jennings Spears.
Yes, sir.
Put the horns on the goal line where Quinn Ewers could rush that touchdown in, which didn't like Quinn Ewers getting hit. He got hit pretty hard in the end zone. I'm glad he bounced back up, but, with the oblique injury, I feel like Sark could have went a lot of other ways instead of getting Quinn Ewers hit, even though they scored on that play to make it 34, but whatever. I digress a little bit. We'll take that. No, appreciate you. No, you
super chat.
My man, No, always holds it down for us at Texas Sports Unfiltered, man. We appreciate we appreciate everybody else for supporting us. Like and subscribe. But yeah, I love Gunnar Helm, Rodney, man. Like, I think we're gonna miss him a lot next year. JT Sanders was really good. He was really good, but JT Sanders, he wasn't the
utilized
best blocker at times, and I don't think we saw the best of JT Sanders last year due to his high ankle sprain injury. You know what I'm saying? So Gunnar Helm coming into this season where we didn't know exactly what he was going to bring. If Amari Nyblack coming over from Alabama, you would think Amari Nyblack would be getting more bump out there. He hasn't even seen the field due to how reliable Gunnar Helm has been. So, that fourth drive of the game, again, you throw an interception on the first drive. You only get 5 plays in on the second drive. You go 3 and out on the third. It seemed like just things are going really bad. And then the second quarter starts, and you find Gunnar Helm on a 21-yard game where he has a nice or make somebody miss a tackle, then he tries to jump over somebody, and then you get that fake going right, screen pass, throw left to Gunnar Helm for the touchdown. As you said, that just put an ease.
It's always the timing.
Vicks Vapor Rub. That was that Vicks Vapor Rub.
Like that. You like that. I mean, it calms it down. Calms it down. When I put some on tonight, because I still do it, Zay.
That's an OG move right there.
I still got it, man. I still use that shit because it does. It calms me down, makes me feel better.
Yeah, clears the nostrils, just giving it a good whiff. That's an OG move right there.
Maybe every now and then on the feet, on the bottom of the feet.
On the feet, for real?
Oh, hell yeah, man. If it's feeling kind of rough, yeah.
Okay, you put me on game a little bit.
Yeah.
So my offensive MVP, brought to you by Verde's Mexican Paella. I gotta go with Trey Wisner. Quintravion Wisner. I'm sorry, Mama. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mama Wisner. Quintravion Wisner out of South Dallas, Texas. That dude, and I still love Jaden Blue. You're gonna need Jaden Blue, especially in the passing game. And Quintravion Wisner gotta take care of that ball, baby. But the fact that he almost had the touchdown, which allowed Silas Bolden to rush in there, and then he has the next big run after the Anthony Hill fumble and recovery. Like that's what really opened up the game. 13 carries, you get over 100 yards. Like the dude was balling, 118 yards to be specific. The dude, he did his thing against a team that's very stingy when it comes to playing the run. So, those Dallas boys, Ant Hill, Quintravion Wisner, the list goes on, Quinn Ewers. I know they're very proud of the showing that they had today, but it ain't going to last too long because you got the Bulldogs coming in next week. All right, let's get to the defensive MVP. Oh yeah, Bronny, tell us about Verde's Mexican Paella.
Absolutely, my friend. The offensive MVPs presented by Verde's Mexican Paella, located right there off of Hamilton Pool Road, off of 71. Verde's is serving an extensive menu of all your traditional and Mexican and Tex-Mex favorites, a little bit of both. People kind of go back and forth. This is Mexican. Oh, no, that's Tex-Mex. Well, they got it all. They got them both right there. They've got a beautiful indoor dining area. It makes it for a great night. And outside, there's a covered patio. Take the whole family out there. It's about to cool off a little bit. It'll be the great time to do it. You can dine in or you can take out, and they will host a party, cater, whatever you're doing, they will take care of you. And by the way, next time when you're there, be sure and mention Texas Sports Unfiltered. You're going to get a free appetizer courtesy of our friends at Verde's Mexican Parrilla. Go see them. It's a Verde's Mexican Parrilla, proud sponsor of the offensive MVP after the Red River Shootout, bitches. Shootout.
Damn it. Hey, yo, Sark, man, this is a petty move. Shout out to my guy, Chip Brown, our guy, Chip Brown, Horns 24/7, Texas Sports Unfiltered. He put out Steve Sarkisian, walked into the post-game press conference eating a corny dog after beating OU 34-3. Yo, that's petty.
That's pretty bad.
That's petty, man. I ride with that. You know me, Ronnie, and everyone that listens to us on Texas Sports Unfiltered. I might be one of the pettiest dudes you're ever going to meet. Like I tell you, we all got to be petty every once in a while. It's healthy, especially when it comes to sports. This the shit I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Sark. That's a $10 million move right there.
Yep.
Enjoy yourself, bro. Enjoy yourself. You know,
did you see him before the game, Zay? Did you see him in the tunnel when they came out? That dude came walking out in front of the team, and the look on Sarkisian's face, it's like that dude wants to freaking maul somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, is he suiting up?
No, I mean, he was conservative, but also having Matthew Golden throw a second wide receiver pass to put the Longhorns basically right there on the goal line, that's disrespectful. That's disrespectful. That's what you got to do. Yo, Bob Stoops used to run up the score all the time. Bob Stoops is a mother shut your mouth, as the great Shaft would say. That dude would run that damn score up. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Who cares? So what?
Mm-hmm.
So what? Run it up. Send a message to everybody. You know, it ain't our fault that they down this year. It ain't our fault that Brent Venables wants to take out his 5-star quarterback for no reason. To me, that's no reason. I get it. Jackson Arnold had turnovers and the 3 turnovers in the first half. You don't have to take him out. You really don't.
No.
You just got to realize your team sucks. Jackson Arnold's trying to do crazy stuff, pull a rabbit out the hat, rabbit out his ass, just because he knows his offense isn't good. He knows he doesn't have good receivers to throw to. It's not on him.
Yeah.
It's not. But now you put in Michael Hawkins Jr., who's very limited, because Texas was all over that run game. They didn't let Michael Hawkins do much of anything, and they had no respect for the passing game.
Yeah.
So that's a bad move. And now Brent Venables, OU fans are going to be asking, should we have subbed Jackson Arnold in? I like that. That makes me smile, Rodney.
It didn't matter. I mean, I'd have gone to Casey Thompson. I mean, I'd have just tried something. And here, you said it a while ago, Zay. Here's the problem where Texas has evolved. We talk about all this depth. We talk about rotations. We talk about both sides of the ball. Both sides of the ball. Yeah, special teams. The kicker's got to get better now that he's a high roller. But the whole thing is, if you're OU, you ain't got no depth. Although you're to the 7th receiver, but that's your problem. And you're not going to compete in this league. I don't give a damn who you are. You're not going to compete in this league for a national championship, a conference title, much less a national championship, if you have no depth. Yeah. And they have no depth whatsoever.
Who? Brent Venables out here looking like a villain in a DC movie. You know what I'm saying? He looked mad on that sideline too, but hey, better luck next time.
He needs to put that fire hose back in his mouth and figure out where they're going. Yeah. Because they've got some big ones coming up too.
Oh yeah, they don't get no easier. Doesn't get no easier.
Yeah, you got off easy today. Off easy today, I think.
Yeah. And Jackson Arnold's gone. Before we get to the defensive MVP brought to you by Kenfield Golf Carts, after this, Jackson Arnold, ain't no way he's coming back.
He says,
ain't no way. Ain't no way. You ain't going to put me in this game? Look what this fool's doing out there. You don't have no faith in me at all? Yep. Are y'all trying to save my red shirt or something? Like, I'm Jackson Arnold. I'm heated. Y'all take me out against Tennessee, and this guy's coming in and doing this.
Yeah.
And you see it.
Yeah.
You see it. But, hey.
Jackson Arnold may have gone like this on the way out. He may have gone
like this. Might as well. All right, Rodney, let's get to the defensive MVP, brought to you by Kenfield Golf Carts. If you are in a market for a new or pre-owned golf cart, we've got you over here at Kenfield Golf Carts. It's right around the corner. Founded in 1979, they have an unparalleled selection of different golf carts available, new or used, and they want to turn your golf cart ideas into reality. No job is too big or too small for their team, whether it's turning your exclusive golf cart into your own design or you want to build your own golf cart from scratch. Nobody does it better than Kenfield Golf Carts. Check out their website at kenfieldgolfcarts.com for more information. Call them 512-258-8515, kenfieldgolfcars.com. Defensive MVP, Rodney. I think it's pretty easy if you were watching this game. Anthony Hill. Hill was a madman tonight, boy. That dude. Again, Longhorn fans cherish him because this might be the second to last Red River Shootout that you'll see. Because next year, that's it. That's it. That's it. 3 years, 3 and done. He is gone. And last year, he should have played more because Jalen Ford had 81 snaps. I think he played every single defensive snap for Texas. Jalen Ford now off to the New Orleans Saints. You could have played him last year. And Ant Hill said, you know what? When it's my time, I'm just going to show my ass. 11 tackles, 4 quarterback pressures, 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, forced fumble. That forced fumble was huge, man. Michael Hawkins Jr., he thought that he was going to get the first down, and here comes Ant Hill not giving up on the play, giving us a little Derek Johnson vibes because nobody was better than Derek Johnson, number 11, at punching the ball out when a weak runner was trying to run that thing. And Michael Hawkins, he got. That's just how it goes sometimes, man. And look, Ant Hill coming into this season, him moving to that Mike linebacker spot. And, you just didn't know because what's his best position coming in? Is he Micah Parsons type where he's better on the line as an edge rusher where he did get a sack today, by the way, rushing from the edge? Or is he an OG middle linebacker? I think he gets a little bit of everything. He's a jack of all trades. I think depending on the situation and the team that you're playing depends on where you put Ant Hill. And it's up to Pete Kwiatkowski and Johnny Nansen to feel out the flow of the game where he's best used. And now you don't even have to play him every snap like you did Jalen Ford last year because Leon Fowles playing his ass off. Bo Blackwell had a solid game. David Benda has been good all year long, the 6-year senior. So Ant Hill's always fresh.
Yeah.
He's in terrific shape. He's chasing Michael Hawkins Jr. out of bounds, making them throw the ball out and stuff. He's all over the running backs. He makes his mark on the game. And he's just one of those guys that has fun playing football. Like the baby face, he looks like he wouldn't hurt a fly. But once that helmet's on and that chin strap's buckled, he's different. You know what I'm saying? He's a different type of cat. And yeah, man, after that forced fumble, Trey Wisner comes in and scores a touchdown to make it 21-3. Just another big-time play to swing the momentum or keep the momentum Texas's way and just hitting those deflating haymakers against Oklahoma. How can the Kenfield Golf Cars defensive MVP not be Anthony Hill?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. You're going to see the 11 total tackles that he had, but I think the bigger stat with that, what you're talking about right there, the 3.5, tackle TFLs. I mean, and again, the timing of that, and that was really where, I mean, a lot of that, in my opinion, Zay, was when the offense was just, kind of sputtering along. And I mean, it's those plays right there that kind of, that help kind of wake that part up. For me on the defensive side, for defensive player of the game, courtesy of Kenfield Golf Cars, I got to go to David Benda. And it's because it's a very quiet David Benda. It's like you look up and boom, there he is. And, it's not the spectacular. I mean, I think he had a TFL. I think he had one tackle for loss. But still, it's one of those dudes to where you said a 6-year senior. It's one of those guys where this may be for all intents and purposes, this is it. This is his last Red River Shootout, and the dude is just rock solid. It's like when
he's got one more. He's got one more. It's just a sophomore.
Oh, that's right. He's got one more. That's right.
He got one more.
You got one more. It's like when you pour cement. It just kind of gets more solid and solid and solid, and that's what David Benda has done. I mean, he's sat here through all the regime changes, and that's one of those guys where now you're really seeing him elevate his game with the players that are around him to where that dude's done his time. He's been through some dark ass days in this program. And now everybody around him is really elevating his play. And that's why I go to Benda, because it's like, that's the dude you root for. You know what I mean? It's like, if you played sports, it's like, those are the guys that you want them to do well, because it's like, man, he has busted his ass and now he's reaping the benefits of it. And I'm going with Benda on that one.
Yeah, he had that hit on Michael Hawkins. It was weak. For this game, it was weak. Any other game, I would have been, that's weak, but whatever. That's how they're calling it. Look, in this game, sometimes the harder hits, let's let that ride. Let's let that go. You know what I'm saying? But I thought that hit sent a message to Michael Hawkins Jr. for the rest of the game, like, yo, bro, as long as you're out here, it's going to be hell for you.
Yeah.
Everywhere you turn, you're going to see those icy whites, man, because no one's getting tired out here. We're all rotating and we're all hungry. And like Chip and I talk about, seems like every week, they're trying to impress one another.
That's it.
Holding each other accountable.
Making each other better.
Making each other better. They don't want to
sharpening iron. Yeah.
They don't want to be that person that get called out in the film room when something goes wrong. They don't want to be that. They hold each other accountable. They play for one another. Sark talks about all the time how tight-knit this group is. And you see it. You see it, man. You really see it. And he mentioned before the season started at SEC Media Days up in Dallas, there's about 20-something leaders in this locker room. And you see it. Yeah. And you feel it. Even when everything didn't go great for the Horns today, you still felt it. You still felt that thing. So, again, salute to this Texas football team. Salute to Anthony Hill for setting the tone for this defense, not allowing a touchdown. Absolutely remarkable. And, again, the golden hat is there.
That's it. That's it.
All right, Rodney, let's get to the tip of the cap, which is the opposing player who impressed us the most, brought to you by Top Gun Rentals and Lawn Equipment.
That's right. Top Gun Rentals and Lawn Equipment. Our friends at Top Gun, they're going to help you tackle any job that you may have, offer an extensive selection of rental equipment for everything from small home projects, large construction jobs. They've got big brands like Stihl, Hustler, Toro, Walker, DeWalt, and more. Our man, Brandon Mars and his team, they're going to hook you up with whatever you need to get that job done. They're Austin's #1 source for all your equipment rentals, sales, and supplies. It's been that way since 1996. 2 Austin area locations, one in Anderson Square up north in the Austin area, and, of course, down south over in Buda. It is topgun.net, the Top Gun Rentals and Lawn Equipment tip of the cap. Zay, I gotta go.
Hold up, bro. Hold up before we get done. I just saw this. They got our dude Keenan Womack, man. They got our man Keenan Womack. A false start with Eric Henry from noon to 1. Yo, somebody sold Keenan fake tickets, man. They got him on that counterfeit. Keenan, no, Keenan, no. This is so down bad. Oh, I feel bad for my dude because them tickets weren't cheap.
Oh,
man. Oh, yo,
So-
Keenan, bro.
So
I
is that
can't-
worse than when he had the young lady, the wrong young lady for the guest?
No,
Oh,
this
Keenan,
is so
Keenan.
down bad.
Keenan,
This is
my man.
so down bad. Oh, I hate it. I hate it for him. I hate it. Yo, Keenan, stay up, baby. Stay
Damn.
up. Yo. He's being a good sport. Still won,
Sure.
so he can't be mad. But,
Oh,
yo, man, that's one of those.
That sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. You got to
And
watch
Keenan's
these
a good
dudes.
dude,
There's
too.
crooks out here. There's
Yeah.
some serious crooks out here.
There
And
are,
Cole
man.
Thompson, Cole, you were the only one to pick OU. That's a part of the team, baby.
Come on, Cole.
Come
Yeah.
on, Cole.
Yeah.
Love you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, that was an ass whooping. But damn, Keenan, I'm gonna have to give him some. I ain't gonna be able to see him on Monday because we go from 2 to 4 and fall start ends at 1. SEC Unfiltered boys jump on, but
We have to get him a
I'm
GoFundMe.
Let's go.
We got to get Keenan a GoFundMe to get him some of that
Yeah,
money.
we got to, man. I know he hurting. I
I
know.
don't
he
even know
hurting.
what he paid. I don't even know what he paid.
All right, Randy, let's get to that.
Tip of the cap.
Tip of
Tip of the cap. Mike Hawk, I'm sorry, my brother, that they didn't take you out, that you had to stay in there for that you got beat around like that. I mean, imagine that. Your first start against that defense, the number 1 team in the country. I know that it's supposed to be Zay, the player we're most impressed with. I'm impressed that he survived because, I mean, look, hell, they tried to drive this thing in at the end of the ball game, but they couldn't convert. But Michael Hawkins Jr., I think you got some good talent. I think that you're going to be a good quarterback somewhere, maybe not there, but man, you get the tip of the cap for me because you survived. You survived because that was a gauntlet that you faced for 3 hours in Dallas today, my
I
friend.
like that. I like how you went with that.
Right?
I like how you went with that. Yeah, he deserves a tip of the cap because he did take a beating today, and it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault at all. You know what I'm saying? Just like it wasn't Jackson Arnold's fault a few weeks ago against Tennessee. It was everyone's fault. Just like it was everyone's fault for OU today, but Texas is just that good. You know what I'm saying? For my tip of the cap, it's tough, but I'm going to go with Danny Stutzman. With Danny, man, I got to for being bold enough, wearing the fake-ass chain, thinking that he's big and bad. Remember, this is
flea market ass chain that he had on.
Oh, man, that was such a whack chain. You know it's fake, too. That's the thing. Like, it'd be different if it was iced out. Like, that thing probably turned Danny's neck green, and he wore it proudly, knowing damn well that his offense wasn't going to be able to move the ball against the Texas Longhorns. Like, tip of the cap goes to him. That's a bold move. Yeah. That's a bold move. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, let me pull it up for y'all. Look at this fool. Come on. Look at it. So disrespectful, Danny. So disrespectful, man. You try to profit off the Horns last year with the shirts you made. Only Oklahoma fears God. Texas fears Oklahoma. Well, I don't think them shirts are going to sell much this year, buddy. You
Nobody buying that shit.
So I salute him. Tip of the cap, Danny Stutzman, for being overly confident, being ignorant, rolling up to the Cotton Bowl, wearing a fake-ass chain with the horns down, getting his ass whooped. It takes a bold man to do something like that, Rodney.
Takes a good Oklahoma man to do that, man. I think I saw that chain at the 290 flea market. Is where I think I saw that.
Yeah, I think I saw that at the pawn shop running from
what I'm talking about.
$29.99.
I saw that at the taqueria is where I seen that shit. Come on, man.
Yeah, I could have given it to Billy Bowman too. He had the interception and stuff, but Billy was talking crazy. Billy's been talking crazy for a while. Billy said at SEC Media Days, they left points on the board last year for that 34-30 showing, when they won the Red River Shootout in 2023. And then Billy, you could see him at the coin toss talking crazy with Jahdae Barron. So, Billy, we could have given it to him too. But Danny, he was really wilding out with that chain. So, I thought he deserved it today. You know
That's
what
right.
I'm saying? All right, Rodney, let's get to the offensive play of the game, brought to you by the great Hat Creek Burger. Hat Creek is just absolutely delicious. One of my favorite places. It started as a food truck down there off West 6 back in 2008. Since then, they've grown to 26 locations across the great state of Texas. You can get it in the ATX, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Temple, Waco. And despite their rapid growth, they remain the same. That's what you could always, be sketchy on sometimes when places go to different locations, not just their original. Will they lose their taste? Will they lose what everybody loves about them? Not Hat Creek. Hat Creek is still an amazing place with amazing burgers and nuggets, salads, fries. The shakes go crazy. They always have a playground usually at Hat Creek, so you could take your kids and have a great experience. Go check out any of the 26 locations in Texas, Hat Creek Burger. All right, Rodney, Hat Creek offensive play of the game. I'm going to let you start us out with this one.
There's a lot of obvious ones. I mean, and I really think that the Trey Wingo 43-yard catch was something that really swung a lot of momentum. I mean, I know.
Wingo.
Trey Wingo. Sorry. I think that was a really good.
You call him Trey Wingo? Is that a nickname?
Jeez Louise. The Wingo catch.
So I'm just trying to follow you. Okay. All right. My fault. Keep rolling.
My bad. The Wingo catch, I think was something that man, that was the timing of that was something that really shifted. It really swung that pendulum back to where I think it woke the Texas offense up. And again, Wingo's making plays like you were talking about. It's like, how do you find the snaps for this dude? Because I think that he can do so many different things. And now that you've got some injuries happening, I mean, maybe that's what's going to happen right there. But his timing is just unbelievable. And I think that Wingo play to me is the offensive play of the game, because it all goes back to timing. Like I was talking about David Benda. He does shit. He makes plays when you need it the most. And that really was something that, to me, that kind of woke everything up. Yeah, Trey Wingo's the announcer.
Oh, okay. Okay. I get my names mixed up all the time, and Chip has to correct me.
I sound like Wags over here.
Damn, Wags getting the stray here on Saturday night, man. Oh, man, that's too good. But, yeah, Ryan Wingo, man, that dude, he's a baller. He's a gamer. I don't think the moment is too big for him ever as a freshman. He showed us that in week 2 with that reverse he had against Michigan, and he had some big plays today, as you just mentioned. I think the play of the game for me is Silas Bolden.
Oh, yeah.
On the fumble. That
Yep.
could have been a real big momentum shifter, because it's only 7-3 at the time. Quintravion Wisner breaks out to a big time run. They catch up with him, knock the ball out, and then the ball doesn't go out of bounds because Silas Bolden hustles his ass off, passes Danny Stutzman, which Danny, that's going to be a rough moment on film this week when Brent Venables rolls that back and shows the lack of hustle that you had in the biggest game of the year. But Silas Bolden, I mean, we've been waiting on him to make a big play. Shout out to my guy, Cole Thompson. He's one of the biggest Silas Bolden fans out there. But he hasn't got a chance, kind of like Ryan Wingo, to showcase what he's about. Going into offseason, all we heard was great things about Silas Bolden coming from Oregon State. And, him not being an early enrollee in January, I think that's held him back a little bit because he just got here in the summer. Steve Sarkisian's offense is so complex. There's so much blocking involved, and there's just so many different responsibilities that these wide receivers have that doesn't have to do with catching the ball. And Silas Bolden, it might have taken him a little longer for Sark and Chris Jackson, wide receiver coach, to trust that. As Isaiah Bond went out today, you have to play him. And, hey, his blocking was terrific on that play for Trey Wisner to get all of those yardage on the ground.
Yep.
And he just hustled his ass off when the ball was loose in the end zone. No touchback. Silas Bolden jumps on it. Instead of it being Oklahoma's ball and it being 7-3 Texas, now Texas gets 6 on the board. It's 14-3. That completely deflates the Oklahoma Sooners, their fans. Like, that's a huge blow where you think that momentum goes back your way, and then Texas, they just keep rolling from that point on. So Silas Bolden, salute to him for hustling, and he still scares me on these punt returns, Ronnie. I feel like we've talked about that early on.
Yeah, it's like, man, can you go like this?
I mean, he had a big punt return. It was huge, but it's like, dude, you're playing with fire here.
Yeah. I keep
like
waiting.
There's one game where it's just it's not gonna go your way. You're so aggressive. You want to make things happen. In a way, I marvel it because he's so damn tough, but also it's just like, all right, hold on to the ball. Just hold on to the ball. Like, don't get knocked the hell out because you didn't fair catch it. But I don't know. Maybe he's just been doing this for so long. Like, he has such a good feel out there. He's not going to put himself in those situations. He hasn't got yet. Thank goodness. So if you're Jeff Banks, let him keep him out there. Whatever the hell with him.
Well,
again, he's a spark plug just waiting to happen. So,
and you know how that is, Jay.
Let it roll.
You know how that is. I mean, that coach has got to be like, dude, you can't be doing that shit. But I mean, how do you not make him do that?
Yeah, you don't want to take his aggression away. Like, you don't want him to not be aggressive, It's tough. But again, he hasn't had any problems yet. So let the brother roll.
That's it. Right. Hey, it's Zay and the Hat Creek Burger offensive play of the game, courtesy of ABC and ESPN. Here is that Silas Bolden play once again because it sounds so damn good.
Wisner loses the football, bounces into the end zone to scramble for it. Trying to make the recovery is Silas Bolden, and he does for a Texas touchdown.
There it is right there.
Hell yeah, man. And you know what, man? I got to shout out to our guy, Gabe Eicher, because Gabe Eicher was on Chip and Zay's show last week. Oh, Gabe, Oklahoma, former player. Him and Teddy Lehman, they probably got the best OU coverage podcast / show out there, the Oklahoma Breakdown. I guess Gabe went on his show and said that Ant Hill was the liability on this front seven. Tough, Gabe. That's a tough call. Tough call for how Ant Hill played. That's a tough call. You know what I'm saying? Gabe's my guy. I don't like too many Sooners, but Gabe's my dude. He's been on the show multiple times. He does great work there. I respect folks in media because our job, people think it's easy to come up here and just talk sports and break things down. It's not. You know what I'm saying? So even though Gabe is technically the enemy, Gabe does great work, him and Teddy. And, if Ant Hill heard that, because Gabe, his clips, him and Teddy, they do go viral. If he heard that and might have, turned it up on some bulletin board material stuff, then Gabe, I appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you, man. Good looking out, baby. Good looking out. It's all love here in the ATX. You know what I'm saying? Gabe told us that he always has, when he's at the State Fair, corny dog, funnel cake, and 3 beers, whether they're happy beers or sad beers. Sad beers this year, Gabe. Sorry, buddy. Them sad beers. Have more than 3.
He's got the shits. He's going to have the shits.
Yeah.
He's got the shits right now.
Get shit-faced. You did? Go ahead. Have a good time. I hope you enjoy those beers, baby, because Ant Hill showed his ass today. All right, Rodney, let's get to the defensive play of the game, brought to you by Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. Moonshine Patio Bar Grill is a place that takes you back to a simpler time. Comfortable and familiar, relaxed and easygoing, Moonshine greets guests like family, serving up great cooking with an innovative take on American classics and comfort food. The Moonshine menu satisfies everyone, even the big city taste. Our friends at Moonshine been around for 20 years here in the Austin area, and they want to thank all of you for helping them stay true to themselves, to be around for 20 years, because if it wasn't for the customer, then how can they have that terrific restaurant? And come on, Moonshine, you're so good. We should be thanking you for the folks at Moonshine for the terrific eatery, fantastic dinners. Go check out their brunch buffet on the weekends, one of me and my wife's favorite spots to go on the weekends. It's absolutely delicious. If you want to make a reservation, go to moonshinegrill.com, or you can order online at Moonshine Grill. So, Moonshine Grill, defensive play of the game. Rodney, what you got?
I mentioned it earlier, man. And for me, it's like watching games. It's maybe not necessarily the bang bang play or the big play of the game that most people would think. But I go back to that Michael Taft sack in the first quarter. That I think was so important, because I think the momentum could have totally gone over to Oklahoma at that point. And with the lack of productivity that we were seeing from Quinn Ewers in the offense, that I think was something that really, it happened at the exact right time, like I'm talking about David Benda's plays. And this goes back to where it's really weird to say that my defensive play of the game is one that was made by the secondary, because we haven't talked about the secondary today because they weren't tested. But the Mookie Taft sack was a play that was like, and you felt everything change. That's kind of, I mean, not that it had a direct effect and made Quinn Ewers kind of get back into his rhythm and made him, whatever. But I think that was one of those plays to where it's like the offense was like, this defense has us. We got to get our shit together. And again, this is Michael Taft doing things, maybe not the most brilliant, maybe not the most extravagant player on this team, but god dang, the dude just makes plays, man. The dude just makes plays, Zay, when you need him the most. Michael Taft, defensive play of the game.
Yeah, the Westlake alum, man. He's been through so much. The dude was a former walk-on, man. To see where he's come. I mean, him and Andrew Makuba, Jade Barron, they used to work out together. Andrew Makuba, Jade Barron would always vouch for whoever was recruiting them about Mookie Taft and how they need to take a look at this kid, because at Westlake, he was always making big plays, from interceptions in the state championship game, but his stature, the lack of athleticism, you got to salute what he's done and the work that he's put in these last 4 years. And now he's kind of the heart and soul of the secondary. Like, you're right. He's just a brilliant player that's always in the right place at the right time. He's always doing the right communication when it comes to the secondary, on making sure guys are in the right spot. And they're going to need him next week, especially if Derek Williams isn't available to play. Derek Williams already missed a couple of games coming into this game. He was having a really good one. Had a forced fumble right after the Trey Wisner touchdown for the Oklahoma running back, and then he gets hurt on the kickoff return. So they're going to need Mookie Taft and Andrew Makuba, Jelani McDonald, all of those guys when they face their toughest test in the passing game yet, Carson Beck coming in.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
I love Mookie Taft. I thought that sack was big. I would say my Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill defensive play of the game, Ant Hill forcing the fumble on Michael Hawkins Jr., and then the very next play, Quintravion Wisner taking that into the house. Like, that was absolutely incredible. And Ant Hill, right now, he's just in a good groove. I mean, he tackles so violently, and, being a middle linebacker, so much responsibility. He was challenged earlier in the year by Pete Kwiatkowski, who let him know, like, yo, man, you're a good football player. You're not a good linebacker yet.
Yeah.
Like, when you get challenged like that by your coaches, that irks you a little bit. You want to look that in the mirror and say, "Look, let me prove you wrong. Let me prove to you that I am the man. Let me prove to you that you should have sat Jalen Ford down a little bit last year. You should have trusted me. And now that I have my opportunity, I'm not going to let it slide in any way, because this defense relies on me in a ton of ways. You could put Ant Hill on the line. You could have him drop back in pass coverage. He's got a interception this year, so that's
Yep.
improved. And when he's out there spying the quarterback, he's as good as it gets. So he's one of the most versatile players in the nation. And I feel like SEC as a whole got a chance to see that he's one of the top linebackers in the nation too. That was a big time play, causing that fumble to lead to the Horns. Travion Wisener run 21-3. Completely took Oklahoma out of the game. Shout out to Anthony Hill. He's a big reason why the Horns are taking that golden hat back to Austin, Texas.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Great point right there, Zay. And I guess as we kind of work towards the end of this, the final word. I mean, this is where just to kind of wrap everything up, courtesy of our friends over at Paul's Motor Works, just kind of sum everything up that we've been talking about. Again, Texas wins 34-3. Paul's Motor Works been providing complete foreign and domestic automotive repair in Austin since 2000, specializing in BMW, Mini Cooper, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and Porsche. They do much more than that. Our man BK, that's where he gets his oil changes done. It's easy stuff. They can get that done because BK don't do that himself. I don't either, so I'm not going to talk shit about him. Don't trust your car to anyone. Trust your car to the great people at Paul's Motor Works. Your search for a good mechanic is over. Just go see Paul. I'll start, Zay, because I want you to have the final word. You're the post game. This is your show.
It's our show. Word. Come on, man.
Yeah, well we're a team, but you're the bond, man. You're the backbone of this operation. Final word, like we talked about when we started. We've sat here and we've watched. Georgia was the best team in the country, and they found a way to lose. Alabama, well, they found a way to lose to Georgia, and they have almost found a way to lose today. Texas, when they talk about getting tested against Mississippi State, well, yeah, they got tested a little bit, but they still won by what, 22-3-4, whatever that was. They got tested today for a little bit, and you win 34-3. It's really obvious right now. And again, the game tonight, because you've got Oregon and Ohio State that are going to lock up. This could solidify that Ohio State and Texas are the best teams in the country. But my point with this, the final thought is, this Texas team is really, really good. It's really, really deep. And everything is in place. And when I mean everything, I'm talking about philosophy. I'm talking about culture. I'm talking about mindset. I'm talking about coaching staff. Much more than just the players and the depth of it to take this program to a brand new spot. And there it is. The golden hat back in Austin where it belongs. And you know what, Zay? I think it's going to stay here for a while because this program has turned the corner. I'm not going to sit here and say Texas is that four-letter word that starts with a B because I think that's pretty obvious. Texas is a badass football program. That's the bottom line. And winning this one today, there's a lot more coming up. But damn, man, that's what it's all about right there. Austin, Texas fans, you got a really, really damn good, legitimate football program on your hands right now.
Well said. Well said. And yeah, piggyback off that, this team is serious. You know, like the defense, I get it. 5 missed wide receivers for Oklahoma. Their offensive line in shambles. They have no running game. Their quarterback's a freshman. Don't matter in this game. None of that stuff matters. Well, putting the Baker Mayfield jersey in the middle of the field while Baron Sorrell plants the flag, the Texas flag, on top of it. That's an awesome video Rodney just put up. But yeah, this game was personal. I mean, you had to get back from last year where all the self-inflicted wounds. Jake Majors goes out. Quinn Ewers has 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 1 fumble. Jalen Ford and Johnny Barron play the whole game. The 5-play, 75-yard drive at the end of the game. Dylan Gabriel, Terrence Brooks gets a defensive holding, pass interference call, just all that crap that you had to deal with from a year. And in this game, you don't give up a touchdown. You get off to a slow start, 3 straight offensive possessions. You put up no points. Quinn Ewers throws the interception, and you end up winning the game by 31 points. It says a lot about this team, about the heart that they have, about the culture that Sark has put in, and you still feel good next week going into Georgia, because this is one of those games where you would think naturally you could celebrate too much. I don't think this team, with all the leaders that they have, I don't think this team will do that. Like you heard Quinn Ewers after the game, we'll celebrate for 12 hours and it's back to business. It's back to business. Like that's what you want, because Georgia, they know with Alabama taking the L, with Tennessee taking the L, if they win this game, they're back in the driver's seat as a team that's destined for Atlanta to play for an SEC championship. And the Horns, you got to realize A&M's schedule is a lot easier than people think.
Yep.
They're playing good football now. Arkansas is playing good football now. Vanderbilt's clearly playing good football now.
Kentucky.
So these games that you have left, there's no cakewalk in this conference.
No.
So any win like today is a special win, especially getting the golden hat, winning the Red River Shootout the way that you did. Wasn't pretty, but you got the job done. Quinn Ewers, keep knocking that rust off. He had some good moments. He had some really good moments. You know what I'm saying? And Sark stuck with him and still gave him plays that he's comfortable with to get that groove back.
Yeah.
So if you can ride that into next week where you're facing a pretty motivated Georgia team, even though, they beat Mississippi State, probably their standard, not good enough. That Mississippi State team, Jeff Lebby, they're better than what people think with what we saw, what they presented to the Horns a couple of weeks ago. But, yeah, man, I love this win. Longhorn fans, cherish it, enjoy it. Derek Williams, we'll see what happens with his injury. Isaiah Bond, we'll see what happens with his injury. But for the most part, you feel good about the health of this squad going into Georgia. Again, get your corny dogs, your funnel cakes on your way out on the bus. Enjoy a little off time tomorrow, but once Monday comes around, it's all about the Bulldogs. You're 6-0. You're the number one team in the nation for a reason. College game day will be in town. F1's going on. There's a lot going on in Austin, Texas next week. My hometown will be the place to be. I can't wait. And damn, my dog tripping now.
Around the world. And Zay, I want to touch on one thing before we get out of here. What you're talking about right there with Quinn, because we talked throughout the week, and I think it kind of has been the narrative, big game Quinn, because it's been, the big game that's when Quinn is at his best. This is a big game. I don't give a damn what the records are. By the way, Oklahoma had only lost one game coming in. Don't get on me about schedule. None of that, because none of that counts. This was a huge game, and that was not big game Quinn, and you still win 34-3. The hell does that tell you, man?
Yeah.
Team is legit.
Team's legit. And shout out to Jaden Blue. He might have gotten his spot taken, but he doesn't care. He's all about the team. Put up on Twitter, have a day 26 with Contravion Wisner, and the day that he had praising his teammate, when a lot of guys, they could have been about me. Like, I just lost my spot. I have a little fumbling problem right now, and some guy who took my spot is getting all the love and the shine. Not Jaden Blue. He's not going to let anything come in between this team. That goes to show the culture that Steve Sarkisian and his coaching staff have brought to the University of Texas. It's about we, not me. I appreciate that, and you need that if you want to win a championship, Rodney. So, wrapping this up, we appreciate everybody for rocking with us here on the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. The Texas Longhorns win the Red River Shootout 34-3. Georgia next week. We got you locked in here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Bucky and BK from 8 to 10. Chaos Theory, Rodney Rodriguez and Adam Wagner from 10 to 11. Only an hour. Excuse me. Only an hour after that, Jeff Howe.
Only 45 minutes with Jeff Howe and Jordan Scruggs.
Jeff Howe and Jordan Scruggs got you covered after that. And then my man Keenan, who's down bad, got the tickets. Keaton Womack and Eric Henry fall start right after. And only on Mondays, Chip Brown and I jump on from 2 to 4, but the rest of the week, Tuesday through Friday, will be on our normal time from 1 to 3. SEC Unfiltered has you covered from 1 to 2 on Mondays, and then from 3 to 4 on Tuesdays through Fridays. Again, appreciate everybody for rocking with us on the Texas Sports Unfiltered post-game show. Enjoy this win, Longhorn fans, 34-3 against the Sooners. I am Zay Collier. He is Rodney Rodriguez, double R. Appreciate y'all. Y'all be cool.